So, I wanted to see these back to back and see if we could notice any differences. I'm really looking for the belly flop maneuver at the end, but I'm interested just to see if anything pops up while I'm watching this with you guys here, side to side. I'm going to set them up for 16 seconds. Alright, they're off a little bit, but that's okay. Oh, there was a hold at 13 seconds. Alright. Alright, those look pretty good. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. SN9 on the right there. Okay, so we have ascent, all three Raptor engines firing. And it's pretty, I mean, the views down in Boca Chica have been amazing. I mean, just seeing all the pictures, especially at sunset when it literally looks orange like the sun, like Mars would be, right? The red planet. It's wild to think that if they get this right, this is the place where they develop this technology. So let's check this out. Wow, this is pretty cool looking at them side to side. All right. So, both of these test flights were 10,000 plus kilometers, right? High altitude flight tests. I think 12 and a half was the altitude they were reaching before. All right, so we had some video issues apparently on the SN9 footage as it was going up. Some of the cams down the Starship body. Okay, everything looks to have lined up now. I can't tell if it's just the angle of the rocket. I think the fins are deployed the same way. This part takes a while. This ascent is this ascent takes a while because they're trying to get to the top of the parabolic arc, right? Of like if you're throwing something up, you're up that first engine just cut off. You're going to slowly lower the thrust so that you just end up floating at the top so you have that kind of controlled return back. That's the best thing about both of these launches, right? About SN8 and SN9 is that they were able to find a landing spot accurately both times. That's very, very important. That shows you just a big amount of control that they have with this. It's refiring those engines when the Starship is coming in for that belly flop. How does that fuel transfer when you're adding a force to the flow of the fuel? I mean, this is just a hypothesis I'm throwing out there. I don't work there. I haven't seen the physics behind it. But from what I understand, that seems to be the major struggle here. And there may be other things that I don't understand either, especially with just a pressurized vessel. But I think once they're able to figure out that flow issue to make sure that second engine refires on time, I think we're going to see a big difference. Here we go. Here's the maneuver. All right. Okay. So the maneuver happened earlier with SN9, and it looks like it did the maneuver quicker as well. Yeah, okay, so the initial belly flop maneuver took much longer with SN8. How much that has to do with this last burn, I don't know because theoretically, SN9, if it moved quicker, it should have had more time working with the atmosphere, and ideally would have slowed itself down enough. Because if you did see this landing, it looked like SN9 almost hit harder. And that could just be that I'm inferring from what I saw. I don't know the speed when that thing hit the ground and blew up. But but with SN8, they were actually able to get the bottom of the rocket to to get closer to the bottom, and then it exploded. But Let's see. I think this is a beautiful thing to see, like just this skydiving routine. I think it's beautiful. As a lot of people that think it's terrifying. Um, and yeah, they've got a, oh wow, this view from the pad is crazy, looking straight up at Starship. Oh my god, that's a crazy view. Whew. That is a big rock. Okay, it is crazy. It's beautiful, but it's also crazy. Yeah. That second rocket didn't even fire on time. Okay, that's 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 it. So SN8 had a much slower and probably much. Wow. Okay. So the difference, you got about 6 minutes and 26 seconds for SN9 for the entire flight, and 6 minutes and 42 seconds for SN8. So just off that, um, it seemed they were able to control SN8's descent a little longer. But the only difference we're really seeing here is that it looks like SN8's engine relit sooner. All right, let me go back and watch that. But let's see what we can see just by observing. Because at the end of the day, sometimes that's all you actually have is the opportunity to observe. You don't get all the answers you're looking for. And that's what we have to do when we live up in New England. And this is happening in Texas during a pandemic. All right. So both engines fire. Oh, yeah. They had way more control. And then it cuts out. Ah. Okay. So our quick analysis is by looking at both SN8 and SN9, we just had more second engine action with SN8 than we did with SN9, and the view of that belly flop is clear. Now, it does look like SpaceX didn't advance as much as they would have liked to from this test. Obviously, they wanted to land this. They had this whole campaign set up where if they were able to land SN9 and SN10, they would then use them to test an orbital refueling and actually show that. And so that looks like that's a little bit further, at least another mission or so later. Who knows what they had planned with the other starships they're making right now, but they're gonna probably be hitting the books and relooking at their plan, because not only did they lose a starship, they lost 3 Raptor engines, and they're just making those things. And as Elon Musk was saying on one of his interview with the Mars Society, that is the big cost they have. Starship, whatever. If they've got to get more stainless steel, they'll get more stainless steel. But building those engines, they need to be able to save those engines, and so that makes that just shows you that for like the Falcon 9, the reason they're so successful and really the value is so big for not only them but their customers, and why they're probably making so much money on every launch, is because they're able to use those engines again. They don't have to rebuild an entire engine. So that's the name of the game here.